Hello and welcome to All Shorts. Well, in the previous video, I displayed my discontent in Keir Starmer's approach to Brexit after his his meeting with Ursula von der Leyen, and there's been numerous comments on that video, which I want to share with you because they're informative. And there is something that we have to understand and realise, that freedom of movement, what we enjoyed when we were a member of the European Union, was a part of the single market, not Schengen, because we weren't in Schengen. Hey, while here, please, I'll boop the like button. Now, one point is that one of the commenters says, well, we have actually got freedom of movement still outside of the European Union. So I read on, and Verticu, one of the subscribers to the channel, pointed out that yes, we do. We have freedom of money, assets, expertise out of the country. I happen to agree, since we are suffering a massive brain drain in the United Kingdom. Unfortunately, from countries within the UK that didn't vote for Brexit at all. But what choice have these people got now, you see? They go with the sciences. Unfortunately, in the UK, we're suffering massively on the science sector. It's diminishing. They tell us it's not. We're going to be a tech superpower, but that just is not the case. And this is all partially down to the loss of freedom of movement of people, being able to work, love and what have you, and have a family as a part of the European Union. Can't do that anymore. No, not unless you're rich, yeah. Yeah, like the people who are advocating Brexit in the first place. They have got the money, and in some cases dual citizenship. So they could live wherever they liked within the European Union. So they don't give a damn about you, do they? No. Well, another subscriber to the channel, son of a Viking, who's a very well-informed individual, often leaves very good comments, along with Joe as well. Really, really informative, and I do appreciate them. I've mentioned this before, actually. I really do appreciate the comments, because I'm learning all the time. You see, there's things, you know. I'm not gonna lie to you, but there's times I might make mistakes, like anybody. You know, I'm a human after all. I'm an human. I am an human. As a Welsh hairdresser once said. No, I'm gonna share this one with you because it's from Son of a Viking, and he pointed out something that I think it's actually very important that we all actually make a note of. Now, anyway, I'm going to start from the beginning of his. I'll read his comment to you. It's quite a long comment. He says, it's about Keir Starmer, right? And he says there's going to be no freedom of movement, no single market, no customs union, okay? Now, Keir Starmer is saying there will be no return to the single market or customs union, dishonestly, implying that this is something that he has decided as a matter of policy, when in truth he should be saying that the UK is now a third country, for which it is. We're outside the European Union, like any other third country, which makes both options a legal impossibility anyway. A legal impossibility. So there is no joining the single market or having freedom of movement, what have you, anyway, outside of membership. And that's always been the case. And people might argue, a Norway option and what have you. But that's not, no, it's not, no, it could happen. No. You see, what he's saying here is it is not something he can choose to adopt or reject as an option, and this is something that the EU has repeatedly told the United Kingdom, even since before the withdrawal agreement was negotiated, the TCA. regarding what the real-world consequences are under international law when you secede completely from the bloc. It's called Brexit. Brexit means Brexit, said Ursula von der Leyen. Along with all its constitutional treaties, which had extended that bloc's court's jurisdiction over your adoption and enactment of the laws required to function within the bloc's institutions and market. And can you remember how individuals such as Brexiters, who would tell us, oh, crikey, no control from the East, European Court of Justice, etc. No ECJ. Right, yeah, you can't be a part of a club without having some judicial responsibility, and there has to be a justice system that oversees it. In this case, it was and is the ECJ. So currently, even with the Trade and Cooperation Agreement, we do have some jurisdiction by the ECJ, but not much. So, now, it was very telling, however, that Keir Starmer chose to make the pronouncement in the press conference in which he was alone in front of a largely British press, and not the one that he'd had earlier with von der Leyen standing beside him and with European journalists also present. Was he trying to hide? You know, I don't want to say this in front of them, as if they haven't seen it. You know, it's just stupid. So he's obviously risking about being asked the awkward but obvious question, having said such a thing. And he definitely couldn't risk the camera cutting to Ursula at that moment with her expression that might have given the game away, quite possibly, to the British electorate, let alone the risk that she actually answers the question, and only answer that exists in the real world. It's called honesty and realisation of facts. Well, son of a Viking, I say, subscriber to the channel, he followed up with another comment. Let me just read that. There we go. No, I don't want to comment on it. There we go. Read more. There we go. Alright. Oh, dear me. Oh, here we are. He also likes saying, we shall not return to freedom of movement, implying of people, you know, freedom of movement of people, when in fact the UK, even as a member of the European Union, was never signed up to freedom of movement of people at all. Because this was Schengen. We weren't in Schengen. Hence your passports were being checked at the border. Oh, not part of Schengen, eh? So we never have freedom of movement. Not in full, no. Because our freedom movement was part of the 4 freedoms of being in the single market. So, it was, however, signed up to the freedom of movement of labour, capital, goods and services as a member of the single market, which, of course, the UK can never go back to again. Anyway, as a third country, you'd have to be a member to be in the single market. Simple as that. And why would you want to be in the single market without being a member anyway? You're not going to have a seat at the table. You have to abide by all the same laws and rules anyway. So why would you? You wouldn't, would you? That wouldn't make any sense. So again, he is simply stating the status of the UK as a third country under international law, but making it sound like he is someone exercising British sovereignty. Sounds a bit like Boris Johnson, wouldn't you say? Having personally adopted the policy. If anything, I find this type of lying even more egregious than the Johnson type. I happen to agree with that because he's been deceptive. He's been deliberately deceptive. As a way of let me just change my hands. Oh crikey! Somehow. I'm back again. I was getting fatigue. So yeah. Starmer's successful, well, yeah, he's successfully hoodwinking swathes of the population to thinking that possibilities exist even though they don't. Which is egregious, it's deceptive, it's basically lying. Again, telling the people what he thinks they want to hear, and that makes him, bigs them up and say, hang on, well, he said no, even though there ain't an option anyway. as it stands. Now, I would love to rejoin join the European Union. Always have to get that in. I would, obviously. Why wouldn't I live here in France? It makes perfect sense for someone like me. I was able to trade my business with people in the UK. I don't anymore. I only sell my stuff to the French citizens now, because I've got to deal with all the flipping paperwork. I can't be arsed with it. It's too much hassle for the profit margins I'm looking at. It just is. And this applies to so many other small businesses like mine as well. So anyway, he's not alone though. There is so many advocates for joining the European Union who are being either disingenuous, because you'd expect them to know, or too bloody hopeful. It's just too optimistic that maybe there is light at the end of that tunnel. And I don't think there is. I want to join the European Union, I desperately do. But I'm a realist. I can't see it happen. There's not enough political persuasion at the moment anyway, or public's persuasion. It's just, no. It's just not going to happen. But it's a logical thing to try to aspire to. Now, my view is, even though it is an impossibility outside of the European Union, to actually have any benefits to the single market and what have you, other than what's been agreed within the Trade Cooperation Agreement, if we at least go on that path, or a direction of joining, Article 49, and which means we'd have to get our national debt down and stuff like that. That has to be a win anyway. We've been improving our status as a country, and it makes sense to get, stop that. I have to keep changing. I've got fibromyalgia. It's really hard to hold the camera up for any period of time. To put us on a direction of improving the state of the country seems like a really good idea anyway. Because at the end of the day, if we want to have any kind of closer alignment with the European Union so we can trade easier, we need to be in a healthier state. The UK is in a dire place, no matter what they tell you. It is in a shithole. It really is. It's buggered at the moment. And partly because of Brexit, partly because political idiots. It's madness. Absolute madness. And there's no good in thinking that, crikey, I know, we're going to get rid of the winter fuel payment and we'll save all this money, which isn't a lot anyway in the end of the day. There's lots of other things they could do. But it looks like it ain't going to happen anyway. It's gone to court. I think there's the Scottish people put to court, and it looks like they didn't even do an assessment of how it's going to, an equality assessment on how it's going to affect people across the United Kingdom. So it could get chucked out this year. Might be next year. This is just how rubbish the politicians are. And it ain't just Labour. The Tories was just as bad, if not worse. It's just fact. That's not rocket science. It's just counting, as James O'Brien might say. Now, Son of Viking pointed out about certain advocates for joining the European Union, such as Femi Oliwi. Now, I spoke to him several times. He's a nice enough chap. And he's a law graduate. So you would expect him to know the details, wouldn't you? As a law, you would think so, wouldn't you? Who now repeats this delusion in every broadcast he makes. He does, but join the European Union. Don't get me wrong, I think there's a process. I think there is a way there, but we're nowhere near it. And at the moment, how things stand, we are weak. We are just weak. So it ain't going to happen anytime soon. We've got to put ourselves in a much better financial state before we can be anywhere near even thinking about joining the European Union. Now, he repeats this delusion every broadcast and has taken to deleting... Oh, there's a bit of a personal bit at the end of that from Son of a Viking. All his comments are getting deleted by Femi Oliwi. But anyway, at the end of the day, we have to understand there are effectively two routes to freedom of movement, and one requires the other, or each requires the other. And we weren't in Schengen. So we were out of that anyway. So for us to have freedom of movement within the single, we have to be part of the single market, which means we'd have to be in the European Union. So it's not really rocket science, is it? You know. But you know, we should be aiming at closer alignment and try and make it so we can actually trade smoothly with the European Union without all this red tape. But as a third country, that can't happen either. So we're screwed every way. I was always to be a bit pessimist about it, but I just think it's just how it is now. We really have. We're shat on it. Basically, what we've done is we've shat on our doorsteps. And our doorsteps being our closest trading partner. You know. That's what robbers, you know, the robbers used to say, you don't steal from your neighbours. Maybe the first, you know, and talking about that, there's a guy up there, not this first house, the second one, he's no longer there. He got convicted and had to wear a tag for God knows how long after coming out of prison because he was going around stealing stuff. And I was wondering why he was coming out of his car about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Because lights were shining in our window, and apparently he was going off casing joints and stealing things from people's houses that have been vacated or they're on holiday or whatever. Probably Brits with second homes or something. Anyway, he got caught. But there was no problem locally. Even the gendarmes said that because our other neighbour, Jean, who's dead now, he asked, he was a bit worried about it. He said, no, they never rob on their doorstep. That's pretty stupid if you do, aren't you? You know. So don't shit on your doorstep. In this case, don't shit on your nearest trading partner. And all the rhetoric that's been flying about, whether it be from flipping Boris Johnson and his latest book, Boris Johnson Unleashed, which is already at the top of the flick, and it's on pre-order. And it's already at the top of the blinking charts regarding book sales, which is maddening. Don't buy his book. Wait until it's in a Poundland or something, you know? It's a budget bookstore. That man is evil. Along with his father, along with his sister, he's constantly trying to big him up on LBC radio and cover his ass. People keep going on about this wallpaper being 800 quid a roll, and she's like, oh, it was only £18 a roll. What wallpaper is 18 quid a roll these days, unless you're going into a budget store? Flipping hell, especially some with gold in it. I mean, real gold. It's nutty. It's really nutty. Anyway, that's my little video on the single market. I'd like to thank 30Q, because I forgot about it the other day. Cheers, buddy. Joel. Cheers, buddy. Really appreciate it. Who's also moderator on the channel. And Son of a Viking for his very informed and logical comments. So, yeah, I'd like to thank everybody who comments on the video. So please comment down below. Because, you know, whether if you agree with Brexit or don't agree with Brexit, everyone is welcome to comment on this channel, providing people aren't, how to put it, offensive. If you're being offensive, or racist in any way, homophobic, or, you know, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, whatever kind of phobics are out there, even spiders. I don't know. Anyway, you're more welcome to comment on the channel, but anything untoward, you'll be hidden. Simple as that. So you think you're there, but you're not, if you know what I mean. Because I'm not going to have that on the channel. And I have had to recently hide a few people because they're getting a little bit arrogant and offensive. And that's not what the channel's about. If you've got a point of view, share it with us. You know, if you think there's loads of benefits of Brexit, share it with us, and then we can debate it. You know, that's really what's got to be about, isn't it? That's, yeah, sensible debate. I think that's what we want. And we need that on all channels, really. It's just not. It's not cheddar, otherwise it doesn't make any sense. You don't gain anything because all you're doing is people won't respond to, or some people will, if you're just being offensive, or they're just trying to shut you down. There's no point. There's no point. Nothing's gained. Nothing's gained at all. Anyway, it's time for me to go. So I'll say toodaloo, you know. And before we do that, I just want to let you know about our rewilding project we're doing here. And we're planting trees. We're planting 1,000 trees on 2 hectares of land, and we're really proud. We're doing really well, actually. We just planted our arbour, our second arbour, actually, which you can just about see between our trees over there. Between that conifer on the left Yeah, just there I think it is. And there was it on the other side, I can't see in the little screen. But anyway, we just planted an arbor, that's for memory of those who have been suffering in Gaza. But yeah, we're planting 1,000 trees on 2 hectares of land, and if you want to be a part of that, we can, or maybe you want to do a memory of somebody, or peoples even, or a people, or pets, or have it, or even, I don't know, instead of a Christmas present, you know, we'll plant trees on your behalf, and I'll put a sign with the trees and acknowledge it for you. So there you go. That's what we're doing here. So yeah, trees. I like trees. We planted all these several years ago. These ones here, I say several years ago, not that long ago. Hazels, oaks, what are you? Sycamore, all sorts. But we've been planting a load in that field there, on the other side of those trees. But also, this year we're starting our second field. I was better, I've got the sun in my eyes now. Oh, crikey, here we go. Won't be the same over there. Our first phase, over there, you can probably see it in the distance there. And then my first arbour, we put around the well. Can you see that or not? I can't actually see myself, so I was about there. You can see the well. I'm pointing it at her, right? There's 54 trees around that well. So yeah, it's again, we've done over 500 now. 500, more than 550. We planted another 24 the other day. So yeah, it's I don't see it better here actually. I'm waffling now, aren't I? This channel no good was wherever. There you go, you can see a bit better there. So anyway, so that's what we're doing. This field here, and we've got another field over there. We've got about 2 hectares of land that we're planting trees on, but also making bat boxes, bird houses, etc, 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 for their habitats, because that's the thing that gets lost. No one seems to think about the things they can't see, you see. It's usually the case, isn't it? Anyway, please boot the like button and maybe subscribe to the channel, and also our little rewilding channel, which will start uploading more and more videos over there, because we're getting on with it now. Also got my woodworking channel, which wallybra.com if you're interested. There's a bit of a laugh over there. And also I'm going to be restarting my tech channel, which will basically be ripping things apart, which is currently called New Tech, but I still haven't come up with another name for it yet, but there you go. Anyway, toodaloo.